All right, let's see if this works. Been having issues with this day, all day. I've been having issues with YouTube since 8 a.m., 8 a.m. this morning. So let's hope this works. It's showing that it's working on my end. I reached out to Google and they emailed me back almost right away, within my 5 minutes, I would say. Told me to try it again. It might be a bug. There are a few channels being affected by it. I don't know why mine is being affected by it, but here it is. I guess it's working now. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Thank you for being here. Hi, Darlene. Hi, Sebastian. It's a really weird live stream today. Like I said, I planned this for 11 a.m. as I always do, but for some reason things weren't working. But I'm glad that it's working now, and I'm very glad to see you guys here today. Hi, Beth. Beth of a Salesman. I love it. I love that name. Hi, Greenie. Hi, Horse Gone Wild. Indigo Violet. Hello. How's it looking, guys? What's the sound and the video quality like? I just want to make sure that everything is looking good before we move forward. I want to make sure that I sound okay, that I look okay, and that weird things aren't happening. No glitches or strange things happening on your end. Yeah, this whole time I was thinking maybe something bad is happening to my YouTube, maybe somebody hacked it. I did joke about it on Saturday, right? I was joking about it. Oh, maybe Nichol Kessinger is hiding in the bushes, cutting my internet. But after today, I'm actually not so sure that that is a joke. Maybe it is the bad juju. Who knows? Maybe she threw a crystal or something in my front yard. Yes. Aw, thanks, Lucky. You sent a picture of your rats. Yay. Aw, thanks, Emily. How's everybody doing? Aw, that is so sweet. I love it. Aw, thank you guys so much for the memberships. Thanks for giving those memberships out, gifting them. It's my birthday, so here's some gifts. Aw, happy birthday, Emily. Everybody say happy birthday to Emily. Thank you so much, Emily. It's your birthday and you're the one giving gifts. We should be the one giving you gifts, girl. Happy birthday. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for making it. You should be celebrating. Well, I'm glad that we're all here together. We get to celebrate Emily's birthday, and we also get to talk about Nichol Kessinger and her sketchy behavior. If you were here on Saturday was it was an interesting day for me, especially because I spent all the night prior, Friday night researching. I slept very little because I was starting to find some patterns with Nichol Kessinger and where she was. Every time that Shanann posted a photo on Facebook. And so I want to keep talking about Nichol Kessinger. And a lot of you suggested this video that we're going to watch now. This video is by Veroscope. Here we go. I'm going to show you here. Veroscope, Body Language and Deception Detection. This is an awesome channel, guys. Thank you so much for recommending it. I just started watching this channel, and I will say that this channel has a lot of information on body language and deception. And given that we have already watched Nichol Kessinger in the interview with Kevin Kovac, I thought that listening to Veroscope and hearing it from experts, I think would be very good moving forward, especially since we already have an idea of what Nichol Kessinger was doing, right? What she was doing while she was with Chris and while Shanann was in North Carolina. Yes, Veroscope, love their work. What an awesome day. Yes, so we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch this one together. I have not seen this video. There's 3 other videos that came out a few weeks ago. I watched those, but this one is new. It came out a few days ago, 2 days. So I wanted to watch this one together with you guys and hear your thoughts and your opinions and the breakdowns of Nichol Kessinger and her cringe behavior. Remember, I started my YouTube channel and my first series with Nichol Kessinger's Kevin Kovac interview, and it was cringe. And we were all able to detect a lot of her narcissistic behaviors, even though we are not experts. So it's great to hear it from an expert, and it's awesome to feel validated because, hey, we all know that she has some really strange behaviors during this interview. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and watch and react to Veroscope's newest video, Nichol Kessinger, Narcissistic Type Behavior and Lies Exposed in the Chris Watts Case. And if you haven't done so already, please go ahead to go to their channel, check it out, subscribe, give them a like, and share the video. Show them love. They're definitely awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and watch.
Welcome to the next part of the Veroscope analysis of Nichol Kessinger. And we've already analysed much of her police interview, but we're going to continue now with the rest of the analysis and the rest of the forensic linguistics.
No Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter, no LinkedIn, like none of it. So there was never any of that kind of correspondence. So I think that should probably cover everything you guys will need.
Is there any particular messages that would help me so I don't have to look at, because whatever's on your phone, I don't know how long we're going to get back to, but let's say they're...
So to catch up, we've reached the stage in the police interview, and this is her father, by the way, where the detective is getting the paperwork to interrogate her telephone, and she's been being reluctant to do that, and the police officer has had to gently tiptoe around the rose garden in order to get her to agree. But she's put in conditions as to where the officer can look. Now, bear in mind that the murders have only just occurred, and she's been deleting intelligence and communications and texts and photographs off her telephone. And I believe she's been deleting communication apps which are private and secure, possibly Snapchat.
Right. Here he says that possibly Snapchat was one of the apps that Nichol Kessinger deleted. I've always suspected that, honestly, because Snapchat, as we know, it's one of those apps where you can send something to someone and the text gets deleted after a few minutes. So I've always believed that they have communicated on another app other than texting, right? Something that can't be, checked later on. So when it came to text messages, they can be recovered, but you can't really recover a deleted app like Snapchat. And so I think it's very important here. Veroscope brought that very important point up because, again, we don't know what Nichol Kessinger actually deleted. Notice that when she's asked, oh, are those the only places where you and Chris talked? She says, yeah, pretty much. She uses the word pretty much. We know that pretty much actually means no, right? If you ask somebody, hey, can you, I don't know, right? Anything. Hey, give me $10, and you give them $10. And then they ask you, is that all you have in your pocket? And you say, yeah, pretty much. I'm going to think you have more than $10 in your pocket. Is that all you have? Yeah, $10. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So you probably have another $5 hanging in there, right? When you say pretty much, that doesn't really mean that it is set in stone. She said pretty much because she meant no. Those are not the only places I texted Chris. I also texted him on other apps. It's basically what she's saying by saying pretty much. And this is what Veroscope is bringing up here. The fact that Kevin has had to tiptoe around Nichol Kessinger. We watched this whole interview together, and we know that Kevin is literally tiptoeing around Nichol Kessinger. He's being very cautious with the words that he uses. He's cautious with the way that he talks to her dad, even, or Nichol Kessinger herself. The way that he words the questions, he's making it so that Nichol Kessinger isn't threatened by these questions. So Kevin has had to change his line of questioning so that Nicole won't leave. Because I get the feeling that he probably sensed that she was flighty. She's flighty. She's like, oh, don't ask me hard questions because I'm going to get a lawyer. I bet that that's probably what she used as a threat. She probably came in before she even started talking to Kevin, started throwing all these ideas out there. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I don't remember. I'm a victim. And if you don't treat me as such, I'm going to ask for a lawyer. And so these are the things that I'm pretty sure he sensed from her. And so that basically gave us an idea of how the entire interview was going to go. Because she came in already telling everybody, look, I'm hungry, I'm tired, this, that, and the other thing. The detectives weren't even really feeling comfortable enough to ask her all the questions that they wanted to ask her. But what do you guys think? She had Facebook too and deleted it. Really? Wow. Thank you for that, Julie. I did not know that she had a Facebook. I've learned a lot from this channel. Yes, Molly McMom. Yes. I love this channel. I'm so glad you guys suggested it. She is such a liar. It makes me sick. Is Kevin still with the CBI? I don't know. I don't know if he's still with the CBI or not. I want to say yes, maybe. I don't know how. She acts like she is the Queen of England in these interviews. Yeah, because she's the one leading these interviews. She's controlling and manipulating the whole situation, even with detectives. This is the thing. If Nichol Kessinger is able to manipulate detectives, like actual professional police, of course she was able to manipulate Chris. How could she not manipulate someone as dumb as Chris if she's able to do it with the police this easily? We watched it, the whole thing. She deleted her Facebook after she broke up with Sean. Oh, interesting. Thanks, the last lazy. I'm going to write that one down. I wonder, has anyone ever seen remnants of her Facebook? Maybe like some screenshots or just anything out there from Nichol Kessinger's old Facebook page? I'm going to write that down. Facebook for Nichol. It's probably why Chris deleted his Facebook. She's on the defense instead of helping the investigation. Exactly. She's defensive the whole time. She's not really coming forward. She's not all that open, really. She doesn't really seem all that open the whole time. She's very hesitant to answer questions. She's the reason he deleted his, so her friends couldn't see how he was married with a baby. Oh, I see. That makes a lot of sense. I have dug so much, it's so hard. I don't see the problem with NK getting a lawyer. I mean, she didn't give any answers anyways, and a dusty lawyer she got appointed from the state, he could not make her less innocent. I don't see a problem with NK getting a lawyer. No, I don't see a problem with her getting a lawyer either, but it would have definitely delayed the investigation process. If she had walked in here and said, "Hey, I'm not going to give you guys any answers. I want a lawyer," it would have really hindered the investigation, which we already know was hindered because she deleted all of the text messages. But I think that getting a lawyer would have just delayed the process even more. And I mean, if it were up to me, I would have probably preferred her getting a lawyer because maybe that would have meant that we would have seen a trial. But you guys let me know what you think about that. If she had gotten a lawyer, we probably would have gotten to trial. And if we would have gotten to trial, then she wouldn't have been able to lie as much as she did. If she had been cross-examined in the jury, right, in front of a jury on the stand, all of her lies would have been so obvious in front of a jury. And I think that had she gotten a lawyer, we probably would have seen that happen. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Hey, Saberby. Saberby in the house. SK, no worries, no worries. We just started. We're just getting started here. Yes, yeah, that's too bad his Reddit post isn't still up. Yeah, I really wish, I've been doing all the digging this weekend. Even over the weekend, I was doing some research from my phone and I tried to find old remnants of Chris's Facebook, and there's nothing out there, you guys, nothing. I really wish that there was something, someone had, I don't know, taken a photo or something so that we can look through his posts, but there's nothing available. But anyway, let's continue.
She is not being helpful. She is resisting giving the information. She's already told the officer on numerous occasions that she is not going to give the exact words which have been said between Chris Watts and herself, or when, the exact times. And she told him straight, ain't gonna happen, she told him. So this is the individual that we're dealing with. We've also seen her highly manipulative and narcissistic type behavior through the beginning of this interview. What we'll be doing today is seeing the difference between how she acts and what she says. So as an example,
Yes. How she acts versus what she says. You guys, we've already done this. I love that we're seeing an expert validate everything that we've been saying. It's the things that she says and then the way that she acts, right? Oh, I just sent him a text about the Lucky Charms, you know? Because I love the girls. That's so weird. She's saying one thing, right? She's saying, "Oh, I sent him this." Then she's doing the hand movements, you know, and then putting her hand in his face, you know, Kevin. None of it makes sense. It doesn't go with what she's actually saying. Her body is giving her away because she knows that she's lying. So let's listen to what Veroscope has to say, especially about the lazy dog. I'm glad that he is bringing up the lazy dog here because, as we know, there's stuff, right? We know that the lazy dog is one of those questions that made Nichol very, very nervous. I'm eating Lucky Charms. Really? Eating Lucky Charms bunnies. Aw. I do love Lucky Charms. I will say I like Lucky Charms. I like when the marshmallows just disintegrate in your mouth. I like squeezing them, like, I don't know. That's how I eat my Lucky Charms. I don't know how you guys eat cereal, but that's how I eat it. Yeah, I squeeze it like between my tongue and the roof of my mouth. I don't know. It just feels nice, I guess. That's how I eat my Lucky Charms. Veroscope talks about hand movements. Right, how did she get away with it? I don't know how she got away with it. The interviewers, the investigators that were sitting there, they're like, okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, it's because they weren't doing their jobs properly. Let's continue.
what we'll be doing today is seeing the difference between how she acts and
All right, right here. This is what I wanted to see real quick. So, part 3 of 5, Saturday dinner at the Lazy Dog through Monday night. Shanann returns from North Carolina on Sunday she doesn't. She returns on Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, she and the children are gone. All right, so the video is from Kobach saying, "How many times do you think you see him?" Through the end of Monday night. And here it says parts 1 and 2 stand as published. You have just watched the full segment. Now let's go back through it. Okay, so the way that it's broken down, it's basically we're watching it and then we're coming back and learning about the behavior, which I absolutely love. So let's continue.
what she says. So, as an example, if we look at her words on the Saturday, she speaks very little of the Saturday, but she's more than happy to spend a lot of time on the Monday.
This is interesting. Saturday's content, calorie counts, right? Remember, this is the stuff that Nichol Kessinger loves to talk about. My, I don't know. He was just his macros. All of his macros. I was helping him with his macros. I was helping him with his chicken. I was helping him with his protein intake. He gained these many pounds and lost these many pounds from this date to this date. She's very specific, very, very specific. And notice how this is. I love the data. I love that we can actually see this because Saturday's content is exactly that. Calorie counts, macronutrient ratios, fitness app data. Help me with my fitness app, Nikki. How many chickens does a man like me need to eat to gain 5 pounds in protein weight? Right? Nichol Kessinger is helping him with his rotisserie chicken. Oh, you need 3 rotisserie chickens a day, my love. No, what does it say? No warmth, no reflection, right? There is no warmth and no reflection. She's not actually reflecting on anything other than the macros and the nutrition talk. Let's move on to Monday. Monday's content, step by step. She's talking about things that she did step by step. And remember, she does. I got to work, I did this, and then I called my friend Jim. And then my friend Jim is like on his way to my house. And then I gave him a key and he met me there. And then right? Those are the things she's talking about. Oh, I was here. I met with my friend. He was late. He was actually stuck on the freeway and those are the things she's talking about. And now here we see step by step on Monday, right? She talks about planning. She talks about the wedding ring. She talks about the 2 a.m. phone call. These are all things that she's talking about on Monday because Monday is the date that Shanann and the girls were murdered. And so, of course, she's going to be talking a lot more about the day that is the biggest date rather than talk about the planning. Saturday was the weekend before the family was annihilated. And so, of course, she's going to talk less about that day because I suspect that this was their planning day. So this is why she's talking about ratios and other crap that has nothing to do with the actual case. And this is why for the Monday, she talks forever. She rambles about all of the things that she did, the text messages that she sent to Chris, and oh my God, I was talking to Jim, and right? It's because it's Monday. Also, remember, she doesn't remember what day Monday is. Oh, is that Monday? I don't know. I thought that was Tuesday. As if Monday is such an uneventful day for her. Oh, Monday is just another day. Oh my God, is that the day that the girls and Shanann went missing? Oh, I didn't know. She tries, right? She pretends like she doesn't know what Monday actually is or what it signifies. She is obviously lying. Yes, Chris. Definitely, obviously lying. And I saw a message here from one of you guys earlier that I saw that everyone knew that she was lying, but they were covering it for the DA. I agree. I agree with that statement. Let's continue.
And very often, from the analyst's perspective, if we really want to know what they're hiding, this is the area that we should be looking.
Right. He literally just said that is the area that we should be looking at. Remember how many things happened on Saturday versus how many things happened on Friday? That whole weekend was full of activity. The whole weekend full of activity when it comes to the calendar. And so when we see Nichol Kessinger and the data that we have here and how many words she spent to talk about Saturday, it tells us that she's lying. There's something about Saturday that they are omitting, both of them, both Chris and Nichol Kessinger. Something about Saturday makes them nervous and they don't want to talk about it. She's sketchy on Sunday too. Yes, she is very, very sketchy on Sunday too. I agree. Hey, Hurt Locker, how's it going? We added a fish to our emoji group. Nice. Is that the mackerel? Or is that the tuna? What kind of fish do we want to add there? Total sus. Exactly. Very, very suspicious. Let's continue.
The section that gets the most detail is the section the brain is working hardest on. Not the most important section to you, but the most important section to them.
Yes.
So bear in mind, in forensic linguistics, we do take note of the amount of time that an individual spends, word-wise, in different areas of the statement. We like to see about 25% preamble, 50% the main body of the event, and 25% what happened afterwards. And you'll very often see in deceptive statements that they waffle in preamble for ages before getting to the point because it's safe to do so. Then they skip through the event and they don't have very much to say about what happened afterwards. So
sorry to interrupt here, but who is this? Sorry, I read a chat here. Let me scroll back up. Somebody said something that was on point. Let me see, where is it? Oh my goodness, oh, here it is. Okay, Indigo Violet. Indigo Violet made a very, very perfect point. And her phone and work habits changed so radically on Monday. This is the other thing. Not only do we see words change, but we also see that her phone habits radically changed on Monday. You are 100% right, Indigo. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Why didn't they ask about that? We know that Nichol Kessinger's activity when it came to her phone was all over the place when it came to Monday. Here, let's go ahead and pull it up. Go ahead and pull up Nichol Kessinger's phone logs. We've seen them so many times, but every time we talk about it, we just have to bring it up so that we can compare them. But here we go. Let's see. Okay. This is the wrong one. Wait, what is this? All right, here we go. All right, we see that on Monday morning, right? Monday morning, here it is. Look at her phone activity. She isn't talking to Chris. We know that Chris called her almost every single morning, or we know that it was every single morning at around 5 in the morning, every time he was getting ready to go to work. But this was the only morning that he didn't call her. Monday morning. Look at this. How weird, right? How weird. They spoke for 111 minutes, and then Monday, the same day that she's acting all weird, right? The same day that she has way more words to say about than on Saturday, it's also the day that we see very interesting behaviors from Nichol Kessinger and her phone activity. It changed drastically. Her conversations with Chris and with Jim. So thank you for bringing that up. Let's continue.
So their percentages get all skewed. You don't see a balance 25% preamble, 50% the main event, 25% what happened afterwards. You might even see ridiculous numbers like 75% before they get to the bloody point. So percentages are important. That being said, let's also listen to what she has to say.
Is there a particular date or time or message that stands out to you that would be relative to specifically to the investigation into this case that might assist me in understanding why something like this could have occurred?
I'm still in shock that this whole thing happened.
I'm still in shock that this whole thing happened. Do you see how her language doesn't fit the circumstances? It's almost like she's trying to sell us, to convince us that she's in shock. This is the murder of 2 little girls, an unborn baby boy called Nico.
Right. Exactly. She's sitting here. Oh, I can't believe this whole thing happened. This whole thing, it is a quadruple homicide. 2 innocent children were murdered. A baby was murdered. A wife and a mother was murdered, and she's talking about it as if she just, I don't know, she just lost her March Madness bracket. I can't believe that. I put UCLA going to the Final Four. I can't believe they lost already. Darn it. That's literally what it sounds like. She's making it seem like it's not a murder. I can't believe this whole thing happened. How she's trying to convince Kevin that she is in shock. That is why she's talking this way. I can't believe it happened. All this whole thing, right? This whole thing. If you just found out that your boyfriend, the one that you've been dating for 6 weeks, just murdered their whole family, there wouldn't be a need to convince somebody that you're shocked. I'm so shocked. Color me shocked, Kevin. I can't believe this whole thing happened. It makes no sense. Even if we are to think that she just lacks empathy and she just really has, no remorse for anything, it's still really weird because I still think that someone would still be shocked even if you have zero empathy. But the thing is that Nichol Kessinger doesn't show empathy, and that's why she doesn't show shock either. But let me know what you all think. Casual, extremely casual. Yes, Janet. That's the word. She is casual. Just like Chris Watts. Casual, even though his whole family was missing and he was casual. You did this, NK. She looks at the camera as she is saying it. Yeah, look at her eyeballs. I can't believe this whole thing happened. She's giving the Oscar look, right? She's like, "Oh, is this my Oscar nomination here? I can't believe this whole thing happened, Kevin." As she looks at the camera. Close up, please. She's obviously faking it. Let's continue.
And Chris Watts' wife, Shanann, all murdered. And she's hiding and deleting the evidence as to what was said between these two. What had they planned? I'm not saying that they planned the murder of the children, but I think they've planned something that she's deleted.
So Veroscope, Veroscope is saying that maybe they didn't plan the murder of the children, but there's something else that she's not saying. This is the thing, right? Every time that I talk about the plan, right? My notebook, the plan, whatever plan they came up with at the Lazy Dog or wherever they were, the plan entailed getting rid of the whole family. So that includes the children. Whether or not she did it herself, I don't know. I'm the kind of person that leans to the no side. Or not, I'm not the kind of person. The evidence, the way that I interpret the evidence, I don't believe that Nichol Kessinger actually murdered the children herself. There isn't any evidence that points in that direction. And if there is, I know, please send it my way. I know that a lot of you do believe that she did it. But to me, I don't think that she actually did the deed. But I do believe that the planning was mostly her. So I do disagree here with Veroscope a bit, where I don't think that she actually murdered the family. And, that's what he also said. But he said that maybe there was no plan on getting rid of the children. I say that yes, there was. I say that the main reason that Nichol Kessinger even planned to annihilate the family in the first place, allegedly, right, my opinion and speculation, the reason that I think that she planned it was because of the threat that Nico posed to her role in the relationship with Chris. It was Nico. Baby Nico was the biggest threat to her. And I've said this so many times before. It was baby Nico's presence. It was the fact that he was going to be the first boy in the family that really threatened Nichol Kessinger's role in the relationship that she had with Chris, because she was the one that wanted to give him a baby, a boy, something that Chris had never, ever experienced in his life. She wanted to give that to him. And so, therefore, yeah, she would have been the one that planned the annihilation of the babies as well. So I hope that makes sense. I do disagree with him here a bit, but this is where I speculate that she did plan the annihilation of the children, even if she herself didn't do it. But you guys let me know what you think. She planted deadly seeds. Yes. Yes, Molly McMom. Exactly that. She's the one that was planting the seed. And she's the one that was leading the charge, so to speak. She's the anti-Amber Fry. My internet just crashed. Oh no. Oh no, Saber B. We're on the same boat. You and I. Make sure it's not Nichol Kessinger. Look out your window. Yeah, look out your window. If there's some type of mirror reflection, it's probably her bald spot. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Chris in the military with his little spots right here? He takes off his cover. He's like in the middle of somewhere. He's like, I'm so hot. He takes off his cover. Oh my God, Chris, you just gave up our position. Why? Yeah, because the sun is literally reflecting off of his temple, giving the position out to the enemies. Chris could never be in the military. Chris could never be in the military. Could you imagine? Or he would have to be in the military, but he would have to glue his hat to his head, his cover, so that he can't take it off and give away positions. Hello, Zawoki. Rox, how are you? I messaged you on Instagram about the collab. Oh, really? Oh, wait, my phone is recording me. Awesome. Thanks, Zawoki. Thanks for letting me know. I'll check my Instagram. I've been having issues with Instagram as well, so just be patient with me there, you guys. But I'll definitely check that out. Thanks, Awoki. My husband was an Army Ranger. Oh, I'll thank him for his service for me. Imagine having Kessinger as a mother with her strange ways. Watt's mother was bad enough bringing him up. I still don't believe any of Chris Watts' story from Saturday night till Monday at 5 a.m. I agree, Hurt Locker. I can't picture NK in a wedding dress. Neither can I. NK was definitely helping with the cleanup. She was going to drive the Lexus so police would find Shanann's ring that Chris picked up. Yes, I definitely agree with that, Nidia. But let's continue.
That's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first day, because I was just like, no way. Like, I didn't even think about that. I mean, murder was not on the top of my mind.
I mean, murder was not on the top of my mind.
Yeah. Notice how she said that. I didn't even think about that. Murder was not at the top of my mind. Really, Nicole? She's giving herself away here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Farrah Fox. Agent Orange, it was an evil thing that happened. It was an evil event. My son, John, was in the army. He went to Iraq and Afghanistan. Thank them for their service. Great minds think alike. Murder was everywhere in her mind except for the top of her mind. Yeah, exactly. See, this is the thing. How is she saying, oh, murder wasn't even at the top of my mind? That's not what I was thinking. That means that that's exactly what she was thinking. especially because she told Chris to pawn the wedding ring. So if she's not thinking that they were murdered, why is she telling Chris to pawn the wedding ring then? If Shanann's supposed to come back, she's supposed to come back, right? She says she was under the belief that nothing happened to her, but now it's a huge contradiction. Huge contradiction. Let's continue.
Murder was not on the top of my mind, she said. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, murder was not on the top of my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, murder was not at the top of my mind, you know? Who says that? What mind? Yes. Oh no, Saber Bee. Saber Bee having issues. Sorry, Saber Bee. I hope you get them resolved. Are you sure it's not NK in your backyard or on your roof? Right? If you hear something on your roof, dum, dum, dum. Make sure she isn't trying to pawn your shingles. Make sure she isn't on your roof trying to take all your bricks and pawn them. You're going to wake up and you're going to have no roof over your head. What? Where's my roof at? It's been pawned. This lady came by and just took everything and pawned it, man. Be careful out there, you guys. Let's continue.
Do you see how this is wrong? No one's asked what's on the top of her mind. And when somebody tells you what isn't, we pay more attention. It's doubly important.
When somebody doesn't come home for an evening, especially if they've just like had some sort of like heated conversation, it's like, okay, you guys are separating, you have a heated conversation, you leave for a night. Like, I didn't even think this guy killed his wife. I mean, that like murders on something.
I didn't even think this guy killed his wife.
You know, you just like leave for a night. It's like I didn't even like think that this guy like murdered this woman. You know?
Of course, that all sounds very believable, doesn't it?
You just leave for like a day. You know?
I'm protected. Nice. Nice, Saber Bee. She tells on herself with the pawning the ring. Also, at one point on, it just shows her attitude, but I believe she knew. Absolutely. It shows her attitude towards the entire situation. This is a family, again, 2 little girls, okay? A 3-year-old and a 4-year-old were brutally murdered by their father. And this woman is just, I didn't actually even think of it. I did not think he murdered them. I'm hungry. I'm so tired. Oh my God. What time is it? Anyway, let's continue. That's how she's talking the whole time. Let's all sign a petition to reopen the case and get her jailed. That's definitely in the works. I know that there is a petition to be opened soon as the new DA comes in, which I think would be the perfect time to open a new petition to try and pressure the new district attorney to open the case, especially if this district attorney wants to get reelected. Let's continue.
So we're getting lots of we're being told what she doesn't think, which is endless. It's infinite what she didn't think. But she doesn't tell us what she did think. Do you see the difference? She could list for 1,000 years everything that she didn't think. So when somebody starts claiming what they didn't think, bear in mind this could go on forever. It's a technique. Sometimes it's an unconscious avoidance technique that they just pick up over time. gaslighters and narcissistic types often use the identifiable technique but don't know that they're doing so. It's just become their unconscious capability. They're unconsciously competent. Anyway, let's carry on.
On the top of my mind when I call one of my friends for 3 or 4 hours and she doesn't answer the phone. Like, that doesn't even process to me as like a real thing that is a possibility at that point.
Okay, now let's listen to her words. She's saying that it wouldn't even cross her mind that just because somebody has gone missing, that it would mean murder. Do you remember that? So she's saying one thing, but also remember, she told us that she couldn't sleep. She had to make phone calls in the middle of the night. She couldn't believe that Chris Watts had managed to keep, and she hasn't, and it's not even her family.
Exactly. He's bringing up the most important point, is that she contradicted herself the entire time. Here she's saying, oh, I didn't think anything of it. I don't think murder when my friends go missing, whatever. My friends go missing. They go camping for 27 hours at once without shoes, and I don't think anything weird of it, whatever. But then she also tells Kevin that she couldn't sleep on Monday night. How is it that Chris can sleep? His family is missing. I was so scared, she says. I was so scared. Where's your family, Chris? Where's your family, Chris? Where's your family? Where's your family? And now here she's saying, "Oh, I didn't even think anything of it. I don't think murder." So how could it be both? How could it be that she's afraid, she can't sleep, and she can't believe that Chris is sleeping while his family is missing? But also, oh, she didn't think it was that big of a deal. You know, women go missing all the time, but they always come back. Always. Even the ones that leave barefoot. Yeah, even them. They all eventually come back, according to Nichol Kessinger, right? This is someone who doesn't really seem to care about her friends. So even if one of her friends did go missing, she probably wouldn't think anything of it. And I did see Emily brought up a very important point earlier, and I agree with your statement there, that when a woman goes missing, I immediately also think that her significant other did something to her. And vice versa. Every time that, if a husband goes missing or a husband is poisoned, right? Who did it? You always look at the spouse. So, yes, if my friend goes missing for 24 hours, I'm going to immediately think her partner did something to her. But she's here saying, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think murder. I didn't think murder is the first thing. BS. Let's continue. I listen to NK a lot, right? A lot. So I've adopted her vocal fry. I just go, and then I talk like her. I didn't know. Let's continue.
Her actions do not match her words. She's saying that it wouldn't even cross her mind, the possibility of murder, and that murder wasn't on her mind. In fact, no, murder wasn't at the top of her mind, she told us. So where was it? In the middle or the bottom? The murder wasn't on the top of her mind, she said. Didn't she? So where was it then if it wasn't on the top of your mind? Language can.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Everything is fine on my end. Everything is showing great. All the audio and everything seems fine on my end. Maybe it's just YouTube. YouTube is having all kinds of issues, you guys. Let's continue.
Tell us a lot. Let's carry on.
And so that's why I gave it a day, and then the second day I was talking to him, he was just like a hot mess, I could tell. And then with like the way he was talking to me, and then that's kind of when I cut him off and I stopped talking to him.
That's kind of when I cut him off and I stopped talking to him. We have more justification. And she's also telling us That's kind of when, not when, kind of when I cut him off, because I think the communications are still going on in their secret little app. And then that's kind of when I cut him off. She has absolutely categorically told us all that she didn't cut him off then. And here she has to.
Yes, yes, yes. You guys, you don't know how excited I am that he just said this. I kind of cut him off. Can you guys hear me? I kind of cut him off. Yeah, that's because she didn't cut him off. Having problems hearing. It's Veroscope. He has really nothing left for NK. Yeah, she never cut him off. This is her saying, I kind of cut him off, but that's because I also suspect that she was on another app. And so she's saying, yeah, that's the time that I kind of cut him off. She cut him off her phone. She cut him off the text messages, but she didn't fully cut him off because she was still talking to him on possibly another app. And this is what Veroscope is saying, that there's probably another app that they were talking on that she deleted. And so that's why she's saying that's kind of when I cut him off, but not really. Notice that she says, I kinda cut him off. Kinda, sorta, I don't remember, not really. She uses all of these words that are always just, not direct. No problems hearing here. Check your settings if you can't hear. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Awesome. I'm hearing myself loud and clear too. And I just checked my stream health and everything looks healthy on my end. You just want to make sure. It's nothing weird on my end. It's looking okay though. Okay, now everything's good. Okay, awesome. All right. Let's continue.
To back up the cutoff with, and I stopped talking to him, she tries to convince us. Can you see how the language, her tells, have given her away? She's still in communication.
And then,
So remember what you just said, and we're going to get to that because that's probably a very important conversation.
so if you want to know
So,
days, I would probably honestly just start at like Sunday and work your way forward. I mean, all the rest of that.
Okay, so thanks for the advice. She tries to take control of the interview and tries to coach the officer as to how to do his investigation into her crimes.
Stuff.
Yes. We've talked about this before, you guys. We've talked about how Nichol is telling Kevin how to do his job. Oh, you can check my phone records starting from Sunday forward. Everything before that, all of it is irrelevant. You don't have to look into that. Actually, I'm going to save you a lot of time, Kevin. You don't have to look at anything before Saturday. Just look at, you know what? Don't even have to look at Sunday or Monday either. Just start from Tuesday on. I'm going to make your job easy for you, Kevin. Just look at Tuesday on and then make sure that you close your eyes when you check my text messages. That's the best way to do your job. That's how you're going to get promoted, Kevin. And Kevin's like, okay. Yeah, let me write that down. As he's playing tic-tac-toe with himself. And he still loses, by the way. He's playing tic-tac-toe with himself and he's still losing. I don't know how. How is he losing against himself? Yeah, I love the way that Veroscope calls her BS. Exactly. Because this is insane. It's insane. She is telling the CBI how to do their job. But he's very passive. He's like, okay, I'll just do what you say. I don't want you to lawyer up. Please, Nichol, don't lawyer up.
It's just like the small talk of like, hey, this, you know? I mean,
And your relationship building through the 6
yeah,
weeks.
I mean, like, and if you go like maybe like a week further back, like there's times like I was trying to help him find an apartment, like just for him, not for me, but for him and his kids, to get set up.
I was trying to find an apartment for him, not for me. Not for me. For him.
She's looking for apartments. How, again, contradictions. Everything that Nichol Kessinger said is an absolute blatant lie. It's a lie. How are you going to help your boyfriend look for an apartment? For him, not for me. But you're the mistress who wants to marry him and you want to be all up in there. Always, constantly playing Twister with him and helping him with his macros, but she doesn't want to move in with him. Is anyone supposed to believe this for real? Why does she sound like a parrot?
Polly want a cracker. Polly want a cracker.
They had to find someone with a lower IQ than her. Yeah, she's a marriage counselor. She's a real estate agent. She's a librarian.
Oh, Chris, I can help you find books to read.
She's a gym coach, right? She's also a nutritionist. What else is she? What else does Nichol Kessinger do? She wears many hats. Oh, a macro counter, right? She's also an app. Who knows what else she is? But she's everything under the sun. She helped Chris so much.
Oh, I was just helping him with his stuff, you know? He's just a little dumb.
I was helping him find apartments, you know, within his budget because I asked him about his budget, even though I said earlier that we didn't talk about his finances at all. But I'm telling you now that we did because I asked him about it, right? Contradiction after contradiction. The most caring mistress ever. Exactly. What a mistress. What a mistress.
Oh, don't leave your family for me.
No, I'm not that important. Please stay with your family. Said no mistress ever. Let's continue.
Up and like there's times where I'm like, well, where's your wife moving to? Like, how close?
Notice it's still his kids. They can't be named. His wife. She can't be named. She keeps the names of the victims away from her brain. Does that make sense? And you'll find with a lot of these criminals who have that consciousness of guilt, they find it very difficult to name the victim.
Is she gonna be to you? You should be.
Not only consciousness of guilt, I would go ahead and add that she actually hated them. I think that Nichol Kessinger actually hated Shanann. I don't know if she hated the children, but I think she probably did because they were part of Shanann. But I think that a lot of it was that she couldn't say Shanann's name, not only because of the guilt, but because she actually hated her. She felt all kinds of strong emotions about Shanann, about her existence and her presence. And honestly, that's really the reason that all of this happened. She didn't want the family around. She didn't want baby Nico. She didn't want Chris to have to spend time with Shanann and the girls, even if they were divorced. She didn't want that. She didn't want to have to share her time with Chris and the family. She said it herself numerous times. She didn't want to be second fiddle. So I would add that she hated Shanann. Regarding regarding Jim's text, she shows NK, I still think I have those because I have no reason to delete those. Yes. I remember that. Thanks, Cosmo Bear. Yeah, NK brings up to Kevin that she had no reason to delete Jim's text messages.
Oh, I still have those. Which ones do you want to see? I'll send them all to you. Do you want me to screenshot them? Here, look at all of them. I have all of them.
I have no reason to delete these text messages. So why did she have reason to delete all of Chris's text messages? And remember, Kevin didn't ask her about it. He didn't challenge her on what she said. He just let her talk. He's like, "Okay, That sounds totally normal, not suspicious at all that you just said that you have no reason to delete Jim's text messages, but you have all the reason to delete Chris's text messages. Oh no, little acorn. Please take care of yourself. Drink some fluids, get some rest. Take care of yourself. Let's continue.
Be within like 30 minutes of your kids, so they're close, and like you want to be close to their school and close to your gym, and like what's your price range. Like I was helping him get all of this stuff set up, and it was like in a very decent manner. And I don't know if all of that is in text, some of it's probably on the phone. Like at this point I've talked to him so much that I don't.
So we're seeing this spewed word salad of justification, unnecessary language, self-censorship. The deception flags are just going in at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Even know which parts are like verbalized and which parts are texted at this point, but we can figure it out.
Okay.
I hate that Kevin laughs at everything she says.
I don't know what parts were verbalized and which parts were text.
Okay. Here you go. Read this. He gives her a paper that she's going to read, and then she's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to read it, but also my daddy's going to read it. She does a lot of extra work for Mr. Potato Head. She does. Great macros in word salad. Yes. Yeah, how many macros are in a word salad? What's the calorie count of her word salad?
You see what I wrote? Text messages between Chris Watts and attachments, and then the phone logs for calls between your phone number and Chris Watts. Those are the two things that will ask to be extracted from your phone. So if you're okay with that.
Why does it say as removed cell phone data? Isn't that this?
That is that, and that's what he's going to remove, and then that officer is going to fill that out.
Gotcha. What is the date? I don't even know what
Today is the 16th.
Oh my God. Notice that when she's given the paper, Daddy Kessinger puts his glasses on.
Let me read.
What does that say? Again, why is her dad in the room with her? She's a grown woman. She's 30 years old in this video. She's 30. Chris was 33. She's a 30-year-old grown woman, and she's here with her dad, who has to read everything that is given to her. She's not a minor. This is why so many of us think that there's something going on here, that there has to be some sort of cover-up, because this is never allowed. This is not allowed unless that's her lawyer. Let's continue. Oh, Darlene, not trying to be weird, but be careful digging into NK. My friend had a channel on YouTube. She was digging into NK. A bird flew into her house, hit a wall, and died in the middle of the video. Huh. Interesting. Thanks, Darlene. That, I don't know, that statement kind of, it like scared me a little bit. That's really creepy. That's really creepy. I can't even hide it. That's creepy. Yeah, I hope it was just a bird that went blind. You know, it got a little dust in its eye and it's like,
I can't see. Where am I going?
And it just, let's hope, right? Let's hope, because that's creepy. That's very, very creepy. And knowing that there are weird things happening with my YouTube account, hopefully no birds go crashing into my windows. Darlene, I'm not inviting you to my party. Oh no. Thanks, Darlene. Thanks for the heads up. You know, none of this is far-fetched. I know that there have been many other channels that have been looking into NK, and I know that they have, I don't know, they've been canceled just abruptly, or people have stopped looking into NK. Whether or not there are threats or birds flying into homes, who knows? But I do see why it's creepy, and I do see how it can be scary looking into this a little too much. But hey, we're not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I know that other content creators are not going to stop, and everyone in the chat is not going to stop looking into her because again, we will not be silenced. Let's continue.
You want to add anything to this?
If you give us your
other
phone,
than
we'll get him started.
Yeah, we want to give you everything, but we also want to be protected in doing so. Is more of the
Sure.
was more of the thing. It's just
And when he's done, we'll give you our
Is
copy
there a
of this.
password or anything? Like, will it lock up after a
Yeah.
period of time?
Yeah.
Right here.
that's what knows. And
Make sure there's nothing written on the back.
There's not. I checked before I ripped it off.
I can't stand Kevin.
Oh my God.
Nichol Kessinger is running the entire interview here. She's like, give me that piece of paper. Let me rip it off. I'm going to write something here. Here you go. Go away, peasant. Go away. Bring me a sandwich. And Kevin's just laughing.
Our witness is running this interview here. It's okay.
What is going on? Laughing about anything. Literally, he laughs about anything that Nichol Kessinger says, and he doesn't want to speak on it, and he doesn't want to be weird about it. He doesn't want to make her uncomfortable. So all he does is laugh. He just laughs. He's like, let me not push into this. Let me not challenge her anymore. Let's continue.
Okay, they've got it. Now, what's she thinking? Is she thinking, have I deleted everything? And she communicated with Watts. Do you remember? Kind of cut him off, but she's still communicating. She's told Chris Watts to delete all the stuff his end, probably including the app, all the texts, all the photographs, all the evidence. She is conspiring with the murderer to delete the evidence, and she's withholding. I've heard in the comments that some people say that there are some officials that say she's highly cooperative. What on earth are they talking about? Have they watched this video? Do they even know how to assess that?
Yeah.
This is a highly deceptive, highly manipulative individual, destroying evidence in a murder case. Let's carry on.
Yeah, I don't know how Rourke is saying that she was cooperative.
Oh, our witness was so cooperative. Nichol Kessinger, oh, that's a witch hunt. She cooperated with police.
I mean, yeah, she deleted all of her text messages, which really hindered our investigation. But she was so cooperative. From where? Did he not watch this video? Did Rourke not watch the video, or is he lying? Yes, guys, yes. Yeah, Zawoki has had some weird things happen to him. Yes. But see, that's the thing. As many weird things that will happen and will continue to happen, we're still here. We're not going to stop talking about it. We're all in this together, guys, all of us. We're in this together because we are all committed to getting justice. We're all signing petitions. So we're really the force here to be reckoned with. Because it's not just me, it's not just the Wokey, it's not just Patty Productions and, Veroscope. It's literally all of us. Everyone in the chat right now, everyone that follows my page, my channel and other channels, we all want justice. So we are a very strong force to be dealt with, and we are wanting justice. And so whether we're threatened or whatever happens, we're in this together and we're not going anywhere. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you all so much for the support. Yes, and that's insane, Nidia, that Zawoki gets threats like those because again, it just tells you that we are onto something. When people are sending threats to other content creators because we're talking about their involvement, right, in the murders of 2 innocent children, and you're threatening those people, that tells us that we're onto something. That's exactly what tells us that we need to keep going. This is why we don't stop. I think if anything, those threats and those weird things happening just give me way more push. It gives me more motivation to keep going because it tells me that we're on to something. And that's exactly when people try to silence people. It's when they're very close to finding the truth. That is when all kinds of weird things start to happen. People get silenced out of nowhere. So I'm going to be around as long as I'm around, guys. And I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I'm in prison. Oh no, Kevin sent me to jail because I was talking about Nichol Kessinger. Right? Remember, Kevin talks about that. He's like, yeah, if anyone is threatening Nichol, if anyone is making you feel bad about yourself, call me. Yeah, call me. I'm a big, strong man. I got your back, Nichol. I'll arrest them. No one is threatening my girl around me. Not on my watch. So if I'm arrested by Kevin, I'll let you guys know. He's gonna grill me.
What did you eat for dinner last night? Was it pepperoni or ham?
I don't know, Mr. Kevin.
Tell me. Was it Papa John's or Pizza Hut? You better tell me now, or the death penalty is on the table.
All because I don't remember what I had for dinner? But he won't question Nichol Kessinger the same way. Let's continue.
Carry on.
Let's go back to North Carolina.
Okay.
He went to North Carolina and he was trying to rehab his marriage with his wife.
He said.
Do you know her name at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay saying her name?
It's Shanann.
All right. And do you know the children's name?
Oh my God.
Oh my God is right. This part, every time I see this, I feel like calling her and telling her, Nichol, you can't even say Shanann's name for F's sake. What were you thinking? Look at her hands. Yeah, here it comes. The detective, Kevin, asked her, do you know her name by this point? She's been murdered. She's all over the news. Do you know her name? Because she refuses to say Shanann's name. The murder victim, the one who was murdered by her boyfriend, she won't say her name. And so that's why he's asking her, do you know her name?
Yeah. I do. It's Shanann.
Who says it like that? The witch hands, exactly. Who says it like this? Let's go ahead and see that again, and then without interruptions.
This is a highly deceptive, highly manipulative.
He said.
Do you know her name at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay saying her name?
It's Shanann.
All right. And do you know the children's name?
Oh my God. Did you just hear that?
Yes, it's Bella and Celeste.
Okay.
Cece.
She went by.
Look at the reaction. The officer obviously noticed and had to drag it out of her like blood from a stone. She cannot say their names. This is the reaction you get with consciousness of guilt. You look at hundreds of criminals. They're all the same. That's not quite true, but you know what I mean. A lot of them. She's the same.
They called her Cece. All right. So he went to. Were they in North Carolina
They were already
already?
there.
If you want something.
my stomach will do that.
Okay. And now she starts pulling out of her little bag all these excuses that she's pre-set up. For those of you that don't know, before she sat down on the interview with the officer had to listen to a diatribe of excuses. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I haven't eaten. I'm sick. And now, look, she's pulling more of these excuses out of her sick bag. Let's listen.
Yeah, they were already out there. He just
Exactly. Yeah, look at her dad looking at her. Her hands in strangulation mode. Can't even say her name. Yes, that's how you know that she told Chris to get rid of them. Exactly. She can't even say their name. Again, the guilt and the hatred. She has such strong emotions when hearing the name Shanann that even as she sits in front of an investigator who is asking her about a quadruple homicide, even then she can't pretend. The hatred is so deep with Nichol that she can't even pretend. She can't even pretend just for 2 seconds to save herself from prison time, right? Again, she doesn't know what the police doesn't know. She's in here with an interviewer trying to tell them, I am not at all involved. But she couldn't even sound convincing when saying the name Shanann. That is how much hatred she had for Shanann. It's crazy. It's very, very sad, 100%. When Coder was interviewing Chris, he also kept touching his neck. Yes. And that's exactly here. That's literally the whole time. All she's doing is rambling, a lot of word salad, and just lying. And now she's doing what Veroscope said that she's doing, right? We've known this already. We watched her do this. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm so sleepy, she tells Kevin in every single interview, all of them. I'm so tired, Kevin. I just, I thought I remembered, but I kind of don't remember anymore. Maybe I should write it down. It's just that I'm so tired. There's always an excuse with her. I have chills. Lord Jesus, I have chills. This case is so much darker than people know. Yes, Darlene. It's darker than people know. The thing is, us who are stuck on Watts Island know that it's more than just a man who became infatuated with his mistress and then murdered his family for her. It's way more than that. Way more than that. It's sinister. It goes deeper than that. A whole planning went into annihilating 4 innocent people, and one of them got away with it, in my opinion. Speculation. Let's continue.
flew out there to meet up.
Did you know why they were there?
They're all from there.
Okay, so they were there
They
for...
were visiting her family for the most part until he got there, and then they still were mostly visiting her.
Every time she pulls an excuse out of her sick bag, the officer quickly moves along, and she doesn't have the guts to follow through with... She wants to basically leave, and she tries pulling out her excuses from her sick bag, but the officer just swiftly moves along, and she hasn't got the balls to stand up and leave, but she wants to.
Family.
Okay. Hey, do you know how long they had been there?
A while.
I love it. I love Veroscope. This is awesome. I love that he calls her out for exactly what she's doing. Yeah, she doesn't have the balls to get up and leave. She wants to get up and leave. She's super uncomfortable being there, but she knows that if she gets up and leaves or requests a lawyer, that it's going to make her look way more guilty. And so instead, she'll rather just sit there and keep talking. She'll just sit there and just yap, and word salad this, word salad that. Oh, distraction, hand movements. Oh, I'm so hungry, I'm so tired. That's what she did for a whole 3 hours. Let's continue.
Like weeks.
All right. And he flew out to join his family there.
Yep.
Did you know specifically where he flew to?
What, airport?
No. What city?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Oh my God, what a blatant lie. Notice how See, when I made this video, when I made this whole series, we've already been through this whole thing. She says, "What airport? Is that what you mean? Which airport did he fly into?" No, Nicole. He's not asking you specific airports that Chris flew into. But notice that she's making herself dumb. She's pretending to be stupid. Oh, I don't know. I didn't understand your question. Can you repeat it? Because she's trying to give herself time to answer the question. This is another thing that Veroscope brings up, is that when people are lying, they'll repeat the question and pretend that they didn't listen to it, right? So they'll ask a question, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah," and they repeat the question because they're actually thinking up of the answer while the person repeats the question. So it buys them time. And this is exactly what she's doing. The airport? You mean, like, did they fly into, like, the big, massive airport or, like, the little one? The little one, like, over there somewhere. No, Nicole.
I'm sure if I thought real hard, maybe I could think about it, but I mean,
I'm sure if I thought real hard, maybe I could think about it, but I mean.
We can't make this up. Sure. If I thought real hard, maybe I could think about it. What? What does that even mean? If I think real hard, maybe I can think about that one thing you're asking me to think about. So, first she has to think real hard, and then hopefully her thinking real hard will result in her thinking about other things. So, what she's telling us is that she is so stupid that first she needs to think. And then once she gets her brain cells moving around, right? Once they get warmed up, then, only then, she can attempt to bring up other thoughts. It's ridiculous. I would have laughed in her face if she said that to me. You can't make this up, you guys. Look at it. Even the way Veroscope read it made me laugh because he's like, "Sure, if I think real hard, maybe I could think about it, but I mean." What does this even mean? It has no meaning whatsoever. She's a demon. Moron number 2. Seriously, what is she doing? This is the stupidest thing that she has said in this interview. If I think real hard, then maybe I can think about that other thing, but I have to think hard first, Kevin. You have to give me at least 2 weeks in advance if you want me to think this hard. You know, it takes a lot of work for me to think hard. So you got to give me a heads up. Next time, text me if you want me to think hard. What? How can Kevin not go off of that and say, "Okay, think hard"? Exactly. That's what I would have said. Okay. I challenge you, Nicole, to think hard right now. Here, I'll give you 5 minutes. Let's set a timer. 5 minutes for you to start thinking hard. Go. And I would sit there and wait for her to start thinking hard as she's squeezing her fists and squeezing her eyes. And she's like, "Okay, Kevin, let me think." Okay, hold on, Kevin. I think a thought is coming out. Hold on. Oh, no, that's something else. Kevin, where's the bathroom? Of course, of course. That's why she needed a diaper. She was thinking too hard. Of course, how did we not know? Let's continue.
Oh, God. She is not cooperating. I'm sure if I thought real hard, maybe I could think about it, but I mean, can you see how uncooperative that sentence structure is? She's essentially saying, "I'm not going to help I'm not going to think real hard. Maybe I could if I wanted to, but I mean, I'm not going to. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Yes. That's what she's saying. I guess I could give you the answer if I just thought about it, but I don't want to think about it. I don't feel like putting in all that effort to help you guys find this missing woman and the missing children. I have to think too hard, and sometimes it makes my brain hurt. She is very tech savvy. Yes. Let's continue.
Come up with it? No, I don't know.
All right. So
Unbelievable. But I mean, come up with it? No, I don't know. When you listen carefully, she tells you straight. She's not going to help. And she's not going to think hard. No. Ain't going to happen.
Yep.
She's consistent. Now, I wonder what she's done that has to be hidden. Has she conspired with Watts to get rid of his wife, Shanann? Has she? I can't imagine that she would conspire to kill the children. But I can imagine that she conspires with him to get rid of his wife.
So this is Veroscope, right? So Veroscope is giving her the benefit of the doubt. Veroscope can't imagine Nichol planning the murders of the children, but Veroscope can imagine planning the disappearance of Shanann. I do, of course, I do see Nichol planning all of it. I don't for once think that she would never harm a child. I don't. I don't, right? Like, we don't know if she did it. I'm the kind of person, right? Like, I don't know why I can say I'm the kind of person. I will say that she isn't, or that she wasn't involved in the actual physical annihilation of the children. But again, I do think that she planned it. She planned the annihilation of the children as well as the annihilation of Shanann, even if she didn't physically harm the children herself. Okay, I don't believe she physically harmed the children. I know many of you do. Many of you think that she actually strangled Shanann and she probably did something to the girls as well. I don't. I really do still believe that was Chris. I'm hesitant to take away that responsibility from Chris because Chris is evil. He's evil. He's an evil monster, and he's definitely capable of annihilating his own children. So I don't think that she did it, but I think she planted the seed and she planned it with him. Veroscope says he doesn't think that she planned the children's annihilation, and that's where we disagree. But hey, that's why we're here, right? We can agree on some things and disagree on others, but we still want truth. Let's continue.
Whose name she cannot say. So I wonder if the children woke up and became witnesses or something like that. Something happened. And then she can't sleep all night, although she tells us that it's not on the top of her mind about a murder. If someone goes missing for a little short while, it wouldn't be on the top of her mind that it's a murder. And yet she cannot sleep all night and is disgusted that Chris Watts could catch 40 winks. And it's not even her family, she says. Do you see the problem?
he goes,
Rox, why does Chris say strangled? Like when he's talking to the detectives, or? He's a psychopath with Asperger's. Yeah, I've been reading a lot about how there are some people that believe that he had some type of, what is it, like neurodivergency? Like he's neurodivergent a little. I mean, I can see it, but he's also just really creepy. He's just really quiet and introverted because I think he was always a covert narcissist. Oh, instead of smother. So strangled instead of smother. That's an interesting point. Hid under the bed, not his. Sorry. Okay. He says he strangled them. I wonder if that is interesting. He strangled Shanann. I wonder if he's just getting confused and he's saying I strangled the girls even though he smothered them. But I will say that the other weird thing about Chris's confession is that when when the detectives mention Bella and the fact that she fought back and she has lacerations in her mouth, Chris asked a question that made him a little weird. He asked a question about where were the lacerations, and he's like, "Oh, wait, what do you mean? Like, did she bite herself? What do you mean?" He's asking weird questions about that, and so I will say I did find that very interesting. I don't know why he was acting that way, especially if he knows that he smothered his children. Why would he be asking questions about the lacerations? Strangling is very personal. But that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Thanks for bringing that up, especially when we listen to Chris's confession, which there will be a video out. I'm editing a video on Chris's confession. So yeah, he talks about that, and then he talks about Bella and the way that her lacerations in her mouth were, and so it just doesn't seem consistent. He seems to be confused about it, and he's asking questions, and so that is where I do get the impression that maybe he doesn't know what happened because it's possible that someone else did it. So I do see your point. I do see your point. So thank you for bringing that up. Let's continue.
Was there, you said it was like the last week of July?
I think so. I think it was like one of the last days of July. I'm almost positive. I think it was a weekday.
Okay.
Yeah, he flew out there, and I thought I had like convinced him to like try to make peace with her, and I was like, if you guys work on this, like, I'm out, because what's the point? Like, I'm not trying to be with somebody that's
Quite incredible.
in another relationship, which I know that sounds silly given the whole
I thought I had convinced him to work it out with his family, and if he did, then I'm out. Because what's the point?
This is BS. All of it is a performance. All of it. She's acting. Look at her.
I'm out. What's the point?
She knew the flight number and everything. Exactly. How could she not know? I don't know.
You mean what airport? He got there at some time. I don't really know.
Remember, we know that Nichol Kessinger called Chris every single waking hour that he was in North Carolina. Right? It's right here. Look at this. Right. 9 p.m., 9 p.m., 9 p.m. I talked about this in my last live stream. Every single night, Chris was calling Nichol Kessinger. We even saw the photo of Chris texting. He is texting Nichol Kessinger while Shanann has his back facing him. My guess is that what he was doing on his phone was he was hiding Nichol Kessinger's nudes at that moment. Nichol probably sent him a nude and he was hiding it at that exact moment, which is something that I'm also looking into right now. I'm looking into all of the times that Chris hid those photos into the calculator app and then seeing if we have any other evidence to match the photos and see if we can find a photo of Chris actually doing it, catching him in the act. So I wonder if that's what he was doing in that photo. But here, Nichol Kessinger is saying, I thought I had convinced him to work it out with his family, as she's calling him, or he's calling her, every single night. And she's sending him nudes every single day. And here she's saying, I thought I convinced him. Oh, Chris, work it out with your family, will you? I'm also here, though. Don't forget about me, Chris. I'm here waiting for you and Twister when you get back. Ugh. All of the photos that she's sending him, that's what she's doing. And here she's saying, oh, I'm convincing him to stay with his family. Let's continue.
Relationship that we had in the first place, but I really was under the impression.
So when a suspect says, I know it sounds silly, it's mainly because it is silly. They recognize the silliness of their claim. So they tell you, I know it's silly. I know it sounds silly. Because it is. There she is, having the affair with a married man, in my opinion, plotting and planning their new life.
Yep.
Finding the new accommodation, everything.
Yep.
Plotting to get rid of her.
And the children.
Cutting her out. Taking her place. That's what she's been plotting and planning. Removing her and taking her place. Inserting herself into the picture postcard. Possibly an extremely dangerous individual.
Yes. Yes. I am so glad that we have this channel here. A professional that is able to tell when Nichol Kessinger is lying and validating everything that we've always said about Nichol Kessinger. Right? None of us are professionals. Zawoki, myself, Patty, maybe other channels. I think Behind Criminal Minds is a professional. But the rest of us that we are analyzing this case and reacting to her videos, we are not professionals and we still know she's lying. So it's awesome to hear it from a professional say the exact same thing that we were all saying. Let's continue.
And that they were separating. I mean, it was like reiterated to me so many times that that's what I thought it was. And it made sense to me too, because like he could pretty much call me whenever he wanted. Like I was the one that would tell him like, hey, when your kids are awake, you need to spend time with your kids. Like do that. And then after they go to bed, like.
Have you noticed also she's extremely controlling? Everything has to be her way.
Yes, we're spot on. Yeah, notice that he's mentioning that everything has to go her way, and that's because it's true. Everything, according to Nichol Kessinger's own words, it sounds like everything had to go her way. She's telling Chris to do these things, right? She's the one looking for apartments and, oh, you need to be close to the school and you need to be close to your girls and you need to do this and, oh, you need to spend time with your children. All of it revolves around Nichol Kessinger. All of it. And so, of course, when you have someone as passive as Chris Watts, he's going to do everything that Nichol Kessinger says because the world revolves around her. In Chris's mind, his whole life, as soon as he met her, his whole life revolved around Nichol Kessinger. And her whole life revolves around her too. Everyone else doesn't matter because she's the main character in her head. She's the main character, and here we see her main character energy. And just like Veroscope said, she seems like she could be a very dangerous person, and we know that she is. Didn't she stab someone? Let's continue.
She's almost become Chris's micromanager. She explains to him the rules as to when he will spend time with his kids. She's dictating. She's only been with him 6 weeks.
Yeah. 6 weeks.
There's a bit of insanity around the whole thing.
Yes. I agree with his analysis that she is a micromanager. 6 weeks and she was already managing his life. What's your finances like, Chris? Do you have a 401k? Pawn it, Chris. Get an apartment, Chris. A 3-car garage, Chris. You can get your sports car if you want, Chris, but I need a 3-car garage in my house that you're going to buy me. She's a micromanager.
If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me. But it was never like this super, super restricted thing. Like, sometimes.
It was never like this super, super restricted thing. Notice, all we're hearing from Kessinger is what it wasn't, which is limitless, infinite. And bear in mind, when these types tell you what it wasn't constantly, it wasn't murder in the top of my mind, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, it wasn't this, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. Guess what they're telling you?
It was that. That's what it was. Bye, Lisa. Thanks for joining. Have fun at your meeting. Yeah, stranger danger. It's obvious. The things that she's saying, oh, it wasn't this, it means that it was that. When people tell you, oh, it wasn't this, I mean, it's not like that's what I wanted to do. It's usually because that's exactly what they wanted to do. When people say it's not that, it's because it is.
Times, like right after work, if I was like still talking to him, I get kind of bummed out, and I tell him, just like, oh, it's frustrating sometimes, like having to like wait. But at the same time, I was never like, this is horrible, or it was always like I understood why. But then once his kids were asleep, he never like had any. It was like he could do what he wanted. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, sure. He was in his basement and she's upstairs and they're not speaking. So it kind of made sense.
She's constantly checking out what the facial expression and demeanor of the officer is.
Yes. And this is something that I wish we could have seen. I wish we could see Kevin's stupid face, because I wish we can see his actual reactions. That's what she's doing. Every time that she answers and she looks over, she is confirming that Kevin actually believes her lie. He's looking at her and she's looking for confirmation in his face, the way that he's staring back at her. And so anytime that she feels that he's not believing her, she rambles. So I wish we can see him, because then we can see what kind of facial expressions make her ramble. Thanks, Tammy. Yeah, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. When we like and subscribe, my videos get sent out to a bigger group of people, and so more people will hear about this. So yeah, thanks, guys. Let's continue.
Am I alone in thinking that she's acting extremely strange? I think even Dad's concerned.
Wasn't like,
and you guys are just texting and
or talking or whatever, I mean, and it was like I said, it was at certain times.
Because also we're also noticing Dwayne here. Notice that Dwayne, his sight is set directly on his daughter. He is checking her to make sure that she doesn't lie or incriminate herself, right? And as we know, we've already seen this, he also gives her hand signals, right? He's doing things with his hands. He's scratching a lot all of a sudden, right? His eczema is acting up. Oh, my leg itches. And he scratches with one finger and then with two, and then he does weird signals. But he's looking at her and she is looking at him. So it's working like a triangle almost, where he doesn't really care if Kevin believes it or not, because what he is actually focused on is making sure that his daughter doesn't incriminate herself. So that's what he is looking at. He's looking for signals in his own daughter, which is crazy, right? It's crazy to see this, that Dwayne is guiding her throughout this entire time, looking for any weird signal to then bring her back from it or distract and be like, hey, oh, let me distract so that you can get yourself together here, daughter. But what she's doing, she's making sure that Kevin is buying her lies every time she looks over. And he makes sure to always keep his eye on his daughter. Let's continue.
With that time, and originally it wasn't, but it was me that put that time frame on there because I thought he should hang out with his kid.
So it was me that put that time frame. Do you see how she's managing, controlling? And she can't make up her mind. Has it been a long time, the 6 weeks? So long that she can't possibly remember what was said, ain't going to happen? Or sometimes she yings and yangs according to whatever is beneficial to her. Sometimes the 6 weeks is short, sometimes the 6 weeks is long. She is essentially telling him what Chris Watts can do in his time, in his home, with his family. Watts is reporting to this individual.
Those 2 times you were at his house, did you see any evidence of that? Him living in the basement? Did he ever show you that area or anything?
I've seen it, yeah.
Notice Dwayne. When we were watching this together in the series, I watched Dwayne a lot, because he actually tells us a lot more than Nichol sometimes because of the way that he acts. When an investigator asks a question, he takes his eyes off of Nichol, right? Because someone else is asking the question. As soon as the question is done being asked, he goes immediately back to Nichol and he's watching her movements. And look at what he's doing now. He's like doing some weird things with his hands. I don't know if this is where he starts his weird hand signaling, but what he's doing now, it either indicates that he is nervous, that he's trying to signal her something, or that he's trying to tell her to shut up. Don't incriminate yourself. Be quiet. Watch yourself. That's what he's doing right now. And so watch him. Watch him.
I went down there and saw his little workout equipment, and there's a bed down there all set up, and the basement was all clean and organized and stuff. So, like a decent bed.
So no one's asking her about all of this unnecessary information. The whole architecture of her language is one of trying to proclaim innocence, lack of knowledge, and convincing us of that fact, rather than helping in the multiple murder of a family. Do you see the difference?
I agree, Darlene. I think that she was having jealous meltdowns daily. I do agree with that. I think she was constantly having breakdowns. Constantly, Chris having to talk her off of the ledge. She is unstable and unhinged. There is no way that she is as cool. Remember, she's here pretending to be all relaxed. I don't know, Kevin. I don't know. I'll help you. But the thing is, you just have to remind me so that I can think really, really hard. I need at least like 2 days to prepare. I have to drink a lot of fluids and I need to get at least 8 hours of sleep before I can think really hard. That's what she's doing. She's pretending to be cool about it. In reality, though, she's shitting herself because she knows that she is lying, because she knows that she was having multiple meltdowns every single day. And now Now that we have gone through some of Shanann's posts, we can even see that every time that Shanann posted something, she was at Chris Watts' house or nearby because we have the pings. She was in Frederick when Shanann posted photos of baby clothes. Or she posted a photo or something related to the baby. Nichol was calling Jim. Or she was at Chris's house. So it's very clear that she was having meltdowns every single day. Let's continue.
99,999 women would not be deleting all of the evidence. They would be helping against this murderer. She's talking to him secretly on apps and coordinating the destruction of evidence with him.
I like what Veroscope said there. 99.9% of women would not delete those text messages. Let me know in the chat if you would have deleted the text message. None of us would have. If I found out that someone I'm dating murdered their entire family and they were lying to me about it and I didn't know anything about it, why on earth would I delete everything? Oh, I'm so mad. It was the hurt, and then it was the pain, and then it was the confusion that made me delete it, and then I kind of deleted it. I mean, I was kind of still talking to him, but then I wanted nothing to do with him. BS. All of this is BS, obviously. No one would have deleted text messages knowing that their boyfriend just murdered the entire family and you are the mistress. Wouldn't you want to be found innocent of it all? If you're really innocent, why would she delete everything? Hell no, not me. Exactly, Tammy. Neither would I. No one would. No one would delete those text messages. She's the anti-Amber Fry. We know Amber Fry and we know the work that she put into getting Scott Peterson in prison. If we're going to compare the two, Nichol Kessinger is nothing like her. No one would do that unless they're guilty. Exactly. How did she know that? Chris didn't even confess to that at the time. Exactly. Let's continue.
Set up, so it made sense to me, like, hey, this is what's happening down here. So I saw it.
Even though his family was in North Carolina for multiple weeks, it appeared that he was still living in the basement.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he told me sometimes he would like go upstairs.
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Let's go ahead and I'm going to rewind it a little bit. The basement. The basement.
Still living in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth was that? Let's see it again.
Even though his family was in North Carolina for multiple weeks, it appeared that he was still living in the basement.
Even though the family was in North Carolina for multiple weeks, it appeared that he was still living in the basement. What do we think about this, guys? What do we think here? I wanna see it in the chat. What do we think she's hiding here? She's obviously hiding something. The basement and whether Chris was living in it made her act this way. Something about the basement is making her body react to the omission. Look at the dad. Yes, Kimberly. Look at the dad. Look at Nichol Kessinger. Let's go ahead and watch that again without interruptions. Let's go ahead and just listen to everything, and then I want to hear your thoughts.
And coordinating the destruction of evidence with him.
Set up, so it made sense to me, like, hey, this is what's happening down here. So I saw it.
Even though his family was in North Carolina for multiple weeks, it appeared that he was still living in the basement.
Well, and he told me sometimes he would like go upstairs and sleep if like he was home alone, because I know she'd like go on business trips and stuff. But he's like,
And then she starts rambling, right? So she said, well, you know, he told me that sometimes he goes upstairs and like, you know, sometimes he goes upstairs because like, you know, she's like going on business trips and like, you know, like business trips and stuff. But like, he's like, what is up with that? I wish they would have tested that face mask for DNA. The basement, Nicole's DNA all over the basement bed. Yes, Hurt Locker. Yes. Remember that I theorized that Nicole and Chris didn't have twister time at her apartment. I believed that they had twister time at Shanann's house, in the basement, in that bed that we have seen. That's what I thought had happened. And now she's making these weird behaviors, right? She's like, oh, I don't know.
But, you know, sometimes he goes upstairs.
It's because I believe that she was in that bed. Remember, a micromanager, someone who is always jealous and envious and having meltdowns, wants to know where Chris is sleeping. So my belief is that she went over his house and she's like, I want to see where you're sleeping. I want to make sure that you're not sleeping in your marital bed. I want to make sure this and that, right? She wants to make sure that Chris is as far away as possible from the photos and from anything that reminds him of his children and his wife and the life that he has with them. So I think that she went to the basement and wanted to see for herself with her eyes where Chris was sleeping. And she wanted to convince him by also doing the deed in that same bed. Almost kind of marking her territory in a way, if that makes any sense. Let me know what you guys think. But this is what I have actually believed for a while. And I feel that now seeing this again, and again, we've seen this so many times, but we always miss something. The thing is that every time we see something, there's something new. And here it is. Why does she do that? Because I agree with what Hurt Locker said. Her DNA is all over that bed, all over the place. Sadly, they didn't check the DNA in the bed, though. But that's why I think she's freaking out about the basement. It's because her DNA is all over the place. And if she even went through the window, if she went through one of those windows and she opened it, she probably even left her fingerprints on it. That's why she's acting this way. Basement? But he also goes upstairs, though. Let's not look into the basement too much, Kevin. He goes upstairs, she says. He also goes upstairs. What is she doing here? She's trying to get the attention away from the basement by saying that he also goes upstairs. Yeah, marking her territory. Letting him know, hey, Chris, this is where we played Twister, so now you have to do the thing that I asked you to do. Let's continue.
like, I don't like that bed anyway, so he didn't really like to sleep up there. I was like, okay.
Still living in the basement.
I'm just going to go ahead and rewind it. I want to hear the whole thing from beginning to end and just hear how she says it.
Even though his family was in North Carolina for multiple weeks, it appeared that he was still living in the basement.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he told me sometimes he would like go upstairs and sleep if like he was home alone, because I know she'd like go on business trips and stuff. But he's like, I don't like that bed anyway, so he didn't really like to sleep up there. I was like, okay.
I don't really like the bed anywhere. So I mean, I just sleep up there, and I was like, okay.
What?
Even when it was just him. So that was the impression that I got. I don't know what you're talking about. North Carolina.
Go back to North.
Right? And now she's like, oh, that's the impression I got.
What are you talking about North Carolina? What were we talking about? I completely forgot, Kevin.
She's acting dumb again. What were we talking about? Twisted Twisters. Dead wasps from crawling through the window. Yeah, she probably killed all of the animals crawling through it. They should have checked all of the spiders if they've been crushed. That's Nichol Kessinger. She crushed them all getting in through the window.
That was the impression that I got, she says, after telling us facts of statements, which is nothing to do with an impression.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. She's just stating facts that everybody knows already. Yeah, they were in North Carolina. Yeah, he was alone for most of the time because she went on business trips. She's just regurgitating things that they already know because she's not adding any extra detail. She's only saying the things that she can say. She can't talk about how she went to the basement and how she's seen everything in the basement and the bed and, oh, how soft is it, Chris? No, she can't say that. So obviously she's like, what were we talking about? I completely forgot. She's pretending.
Oh, North Carolina. So he still made very frequent communication with me when he was out there, and at one point he told me that they sat down and they talked about it, and he told her that he...
So I noticed all the little time gaps at one point, before I knew it, eventually. Always note the time gaps. So we saw just a little bit before at one point. So we would mark that as a time gap. I would mark it, I would highlight it in green. A temporary...
Oh, right. So he's talking about how she was like, so, wow. It was taking her forever to answer that question because she's giving herself time to think. She doesn't know how to answer the question, so she's like, yeah, well, you see, the thing is, and then she goes into a ramble again. He was contacting me pretty frequently in North Carolina, and then at some point, really? He was contacting her pretty frequently. She was the one sending him nude photos pretty frequently.
temporal lacunae, they call that, which is missing time. Always watch out for those.
wanted to either fix things or like to try to fix things, and if she didn't want to fix them, then they needed to like move forward with the separation and like actually file for a divorce at this point was the impression that I got from this, and was what he told me. And so
That was the impression that I got from this, and that is what he told me. So, notice that that's what she said here. That is the impression that I got. So, first she's saying the impression that I got, meaning an impression. What is an impression, right? When you say I get the impression that, it's because no one has told you you are getting the impression that something is happening. Okay? Let's see. Let's look up impression. I just want to be able to talk about this because of the way that she has brought it up. An impression is a lasting effect, feeling, or image, either physical, mental, or digital, produced by an experience, an action, or a pressure. It commonly refers to an opinion of someone, right? So it is an opinion of someone. So when I say things like, I get the impression that she's lying, she's not telling me that she's lying. I get the impression that she's lying because of the things that I'm seeing her do. But she says, I got the impression that Chris and Shanann were not going to work things out anymore, and then they were going to get divorced. That's the impression that I got. And then corrects herself and says, and he told me. Because she can't have an impression on something that she didn't see. She's in Colorado Chris is in North Carolina talking to Shanann. How could she possibly get an impression of something if she wasn't there experiencing it? If Chris is telling her one thing and she's like, oh, that's the impression I got, then that's not an impression. It's because Chris told her. And so then she corrects herself and says, oh, and he told me, because she realized that by saying that's the impression I got, tells everybody else in the room that she's lying. She's obviously lying. She can't get an impression on something that she didn't see happen. Chris had to tell her, obviously. How else would she know that they had this conversation? It can't be an impression that she had. Chris had to tell her, and that's why she corrected herself. These are the things that we notice with Nichol Kessinger every single time she talks. She contradicts herself all the time.
Notice how she repeats the difference between what is actually said, what he told me, and what the impression is. Can you see how she conflates the two? It's interesting, isn't it?
Awesome. I love it. Veroscope just said the same thing. It's very interesting that she says an impression and then says, oh no, he told me. He told me. It's not an impression, exactly. It's the impression and it's what he told me. Exactly. Her brain works off dial-up. That's our brain constantly. I wish we could see the little turning thing here, like clearly very married. She was like a vulture. Yes. So this is her very clearly trying her very best, her very damnedest, not to make it seem like, oh, it's just an impression. Then she had to correct herself.
It's a technique.
He said that she was like pretty receptive to just not trying. He was like, she seemed like she just wants me to go. He's like, when she has her mind made up, she has her mind made up, and that's what she wants. And he's like, she doesn't want to try anymore. And he's like, and neither do I really. And he was like, it's done. And he's like,
and neither do I really. And he's like, it's done. And he's like, and I'm like, and she's like, BS, right? We know that this is obvious crap. It's bullshit. 100% bullshit. She's lying about it. There is no way that Chris told her any of this. I don't really care to work on it anymore. Oh, I got the impression that he didn't want to work on it either. I wonder, was it all those nudes that I was spamming him with? How can he even spend time with his girls at the beach if she was spamming him with nudes constantly? Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. Yeah, she looks possessed. So it's an obvious lie. An obvious lie.
and then
So here we have, and he's like, present tense describing past events. So she has a problem with her tenses. She goes back and forth depending where she is. We look at the change of language and the change of tense. Very often in fabrication, they will use present tense to describe the past.
I love it, Indigo Violet. According to NK, she's the only one fighting for their marriage to work. Give me a break. Exactly. Exactly. We're supposed to believe that out of everyone, okay, Shanann included, out of everyone, she's the only one that wanted that marriage to work. Shanann didn't feel like it anymore. Chris, he just was not motivated by it anymore. She wanted it though. Oh, you guys make such a cute couple. I'm just the mistress. How is anyone supposed to believe something as stupid as that? Oh, she's so noble. Oh my God, work on your marriage, Chris. I'm nobody. I'm just a mistress. If you want gift cards, I can still give them to you. Please work on your marriage. It's laughable. This is laughable. Yeah, she's a marriage counselor over here, telling him to read books, Chris. But notice, this is the other thing. She's telling Chris to work on his marriage, but as we know, she also told him to read books about what separation does to children. You can have 2 Christmases. It's always nice to have 2 Christmases. I had 2 Christmases. My parents got divorced, and I would get 2 Christmases, one with my mom and one with my daddy. My daddy, Daddy Kessinger. I would even hang out with my cousin sometimes. Yeah, my cousin. Her name is Nicole's cousin. Cousin with a K. She's talking about 2 Christmases and how that's a benefit for the girls if they got divorced. But she's also saying work on your marriage? How is that even possible? You can't have both. You can't look at the benefits of divorce and then be like, oh, actually, 2 Christmases is not good. Please work on your marriage. But also, I like getting double gifts. Hello? Which one is it? Can you imagine NK as a therapist? I cannot. I cannot. I mean, we saw Hazel and the way she was talking to her, and Nicole's just like, yeah. So how she was as a patient is how she would be as a therapist. Hi, therapist. So I just want to talk to you about all of my problems this week. I've been dealing with so much depression. Yeah. Well, whatever. What's going on with you? I don't really care. What's going on? Oh, okay. Yeah, I've just been so depressed and I have all these issues. I want to learn how to cope with it. Yeah, please don't talk to me. I have a lot of things to do. I'm actually going through this really big murder investigation. So I don't have time to talk to you right now, okay? Bye. That would be Nichol Kessinger as a therapist. I'm sorry your dad died. I have things to do. Bye. Let's reschedule till, I don't know, 6 months from now. Talk to you later. Her advice will always be just read. Yes. Oh, you're depressed? Here you go. Read this. It talks about depression. Okay, now leave me alone. I have things to do. Oh, your dad just died? Oh, it doesn't matter. I mean, being mad at other people isn't going to bring your dad back. Being depressed is not going to bring him back. Okay, you should probably just stop crying about him. Okay. Also, read this. It's a brochure. It's about depression. Imagine paying $120 per session just to be told your dad is not going to come back to life just because you're depressed. Here's a brochure. I want my money back. We would all be divorced and dating. Yes, and dating her if she was our therapist. Oh, you don't need him in your life. He sucks. Date me. Pick me. She laid on it so thick about telling him to work on his marriage. Didn't Kevin find that suspicious? Right, Darlene. He didn't. He didn't find it suspicious that the mistress was begging for this couple to stay together. Please stay together, you guys. I'm here to help you stay together. I was the challenge. I was challenging Chris to stay with his wife. Oh, please.
Because they're making it up as they go along. So here we would put in the flag that we see a change of tense. Doesn't necessarily always mean anything, but we note it.
The next day, I don't even know what days these were. Sometime when he was out there, he told me, we're putting the house up for sale as soon as we get back. And I was like, whoa, that was quick. And he was like, it's her, she's ready to go. And I was like, okay. And so I left it at that. And then he got back, and I started asking him, like,
So I left it at that. That was interesting. He got back and I started asking him, like,
what are you gonna do? Because the Colorado housing market is fire, and you guys are gonna sell this house like real fast. And I'm like, you need to start looking for a new place to live. And I'm like, where do you want to live? And I was really trying to help him out. I'm like, do you want to get a house? Do you want 3 bedrooms so you have one and each of your girls have one? I'm like, do you want to...
So now she's now describing to the detective how she's treating him like a 10-year-old. Do you want a house? Do you want a bedroom? So why has she entered this talking to him like a 10-year-old and she's the...
All right, I wanted to pull up the calendar so that we can see this, right? So she said, Chris got back and I started asking him. So what was she asking him as soon as he got back? This is when they got back on the 7th. As soon as he got back, Nichol apparently started asking him a bunch of questions. Let's go ahead and check out August 7th and look at her phone records, shall we? Here we go. All right. So Chris returns on the 7th. So let's go ahead and look at the calls on the 6th. Can you guys see this? Just want to make it bigger for you guys. All right, there it is. All right. Let's see here. Chris got back on the 7th. Okay. So here it is. On August 5th, he called her at 10:33. They spoke for 89 minutes. Look at that. On the 6th, he called her at 10 p.m., spoke for 1 minute. Oh, it was an incoming. So it was an incoming call. So Chris called her and then he called her back again. Notice, look, they only spoke for a minute. I wonder why. He waited 29 minutes to call her back. Did Shanann wake up? She was probably awake and he's like, oh crap, let me hang up. Called her right back at 10:29. Spoke for 50 minutes, so almost a full hour. And then he came back on the 7th. Look at that. There's no calls, right? No calls. Very interesting. I wonder if they were texting or they were sending messages on Snapchat, but there are no calls on the 7th when he came back. On the 8th, we have a call. The call is she called him for 3 minutes at 2:48 p.m. on the 8th. This is the 8th. So the same day that he canceled Facebook and the same day of the ultrasound. The same day of the ultrasound, you guys. So the same day of the ultrasound, Chris Watts calls her at 2:48 p.m. Remember, the day of the ultrasound is also the day that he said that there were tornadoes out at Survey 319 area, Survey Ranch. And that's the excuse that he gave Shanann for not showing up to the first ultrasound. But it's also the same day that he and Nichol Kessinger are talking on the phone at 2:48 p.m. Right here, this call right here for 3 minutes. Why were they talking on the phone for 3 minutes and then no call until 10 p.m.? Interesting, right? Isn't this interesting? A 3-minute call on the same day that he missed the ultrasound and he gave a bogus excuse. Oh, there's tornadoes. And then they talk again at night. This tells me that they were hanging out that day. So August 8th was hangout day for them. And I believe that's why he missed the ultrasound day, because he was hanging out with Nichol Kessinger. And here is Nichol Kessinger saying, as soon as he got back, I was asking him questions. What kind of questions was she asking him? Chris is over here telling her that they decided they were going to sell the house as soon as they got back. Yeah, that's because Chris already had planned on annihilating his family. So he went to ultrasound. Wait, is that sorry, was I looking at the wrong ultrasound date? Did I mess up again? I did. Oh my god, you guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, forget everything I said. Forget everything I said. Ignore everything I said. Thanks for correcting me, Cosmo Bear. Yes, there are 2 ultrasound dates. Okay, so forget everything I said. The ultrasound day was actually the one that he missed was on the 19th. Okay, so he missed it on the 19th. It was on this day that he actually showed up to it and he was very distant. Thank you for yes, thank you. Yes, Cosmo Bear. Thank you for correcting me on this one because I had the 2 wrong days. So forget everything I said about the ultrasound day. On the 8th, he showed up to it. I was looking at the wrong one. On June 19th is when he gave the tornado excuse. It's right here. They're together. And on on August 8th, when he got back, he went to the ultrasound, but he was very distant. He wasn't wanting to hold Shanann's hand. And Shanann even texted her friends about this day, saying that Chris was very, very weird. And so, given that correction, he did show up to ultrasound day. But notice that on ultrasound day, when he did show up, there's that call at 2:48 p.m. And then there's that other call at 10 p.m. at night. Oh, thanks, Cosmo Bear. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Cosmo Bear got this. Thanks, guys. Yeah, and please let me know if I'm explaining something and it's the wrong date. Please let me know. Right? Like it does get confusing and I confuse myself sometimes even though we have the calendar right in front of our faces. But I think this is very interesting that she's already asking him questions. He was pulling away from Shanann on ultrasound day, and she took off the next day to Arizona. And as soon as she took off to Arizona, look at this. Calls again. Incoming call, incoming call, incoming call. On the 10th, there was nothing going on, right? The 10th is Friday. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Friday, August 10th, here it is. We have all of this going on. All of this. And then we continue into August 11th. We see more phone calls. Then we see August 12th. And then it stops very abruptly on the 13th. And then that's what we see here. So I find it very interesting that Nichol Kessinger is already saying that as soon as Chris got back, she's already asking him questions. Yes, there were 2 dates. Yes. Yes. And this is why the calendar is so helpful. But yes, I forgot there are 2 dates of Tornado Twister. So if you guys or sorry, not Tornado Twister. What am I saying? Twister is the movie, if you've seen it, Tornadoes. The one from the 90s is better in my opinion, but that's because I'm a millennial. Bye, Tammy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, that was the ultrasound that was missed. But we have the other ultrasound. So this is the one that we're talking about right now that Nichol Kessinger is already saying, I had so many questions for him as soon as he got back. Hey, Rox, I'll watch on the replay. No worries, Teak. Thank you. I believe she was in the basement more than we think. I think so too. But yeah, it's very interesting, right? Very interesting. That Veroscope also brought that up. He also brought up that it's so weird that as soon as he got back, I started asking him all these questions.
Matriarch. I don't understand. Let's listen on.
You know,
Is that July 8th he went to the ultrasound? Yes. So here, let's go so that we don't, or so that I won't get messed up again. I don't want to mess it up again, especially since I can't edit anything out during these live streams. This is the day that Chris showed up to the ultrasound, so let's go ahead and change this one. Let's just go Chris ultrasound. Okay, so Chris went to ultrasound. It's the only ultrasound that he went to. All right, there we go. So now we have them here and they are in different colors. So hopefully I won't mess up in the future when talking about this part. Bye, Cosmo Bear. Thank you so much for all your help. Thanks for all the corrections and for all of the information. Thank you all so much. August 8th, not July. Yes. Yeah, August 8th, right here. Chris went to the ultrasound on August 8th, not July. All right, let's continue.
Like do an apartment. Like, what do you want? Where do you want to live? Because he's in Frederick, but that whole area over there is just like a bunch of small towns, and you can kind of just pick and choose. Everything's kind of, and so he told me, well, I like Brighton, and I was like, okay. And then he told me he wanted a 2-bedroom apartment, and he said he wanted 1 room for him, and the other.
Okay, so she's on safe ground. She'll pontificate in this area for a long time. She'll go round and round and round the circles about how...
Add the key to apartment. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of requests here. Okay, when was the key given? Okay, the key was on August 8th? What? Okay, so the key was also on August 8th. Okay, let's go ahead and add the key. All right, so NK... So is this the date that NK gives Chris the key? Is that what we're saying here? NK gives Chris key. Listen to me. It's the most decent and reasonable woman ever. Trust me. Okay. I'm going to put this in red for the... There we go. Okay, so now we have Chris went to the ultrasound. He was very distant. Chris canceled his Facebook, and NK gives him a key. Are we good with this one? Oh, nice. That's awesome, Cosmo Bear. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, so we have the key now. Notice what's happening here. Do we see what's happening? Chris went to North Carolina. As soon as he got back, he deleted his Facebook, and Nichol Kessinger apparently gave him the key. He went to her apartment on August 8th, and she gave him a key right before the ultrasound. So I wonder, is that what the phone call is about? So the phone call that we see here on the 8th at 2:48 p.m. for 3 minutes, is that Chris getting the key from Nichol Kessinger? This here. Origination. Look, origination, Fort Lupton. That's where she was when she received the call from North Carolina. They were together that day, but he went to the ultrasound and Kay gave him the key. Okay. Okay. So awesome. This is beautiful, you guys. Now we have the key added onto here, and now we can see how it started to ramp up, right? It ramped up with the key. It ramped up with the doll picture. And then as we see, it ramped up all throughout that weekend. I believe y'all about the key, but how do we know that? Where did we learn that? Yeah, great question, Indigo. So it's in here. The key is in there. I remember, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember Chris talking about it to the investigators. Yes, Cosmo Bear. Yeah, he told the detectives in jail in February. Yes, I remember him bringing it up. That's when he got the key. I didn't remember the exact date. So I'm glad that we have the date now. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for remembering that date. But yeah, he did bring this up during the interview with the investigators while he was in prison. I heard Chris spent the 5 weeks Shanann was gone at NK's place. It explains why no calls during the day. So if NK and Chris were together, it explains why there are no phone calls. We only see the one at night at 10 p.m. and then the other one for 3 minutes, which it makes sense. That's when he got the key. And then they only talk again till, 10 p.m. when he's back at home. Hi, Linda. How are you? The funniest thing is that Chris said when she gave me the key, I knew it was special because who gives somebody a key if they don't want to be with them? Yes, I do remember that. And it was funny because we remember about Jim. She also gave Jim a key. Jim was getting broccoli or something. I don't know. And then he just showed up. I gave him a key. Jim also had a key to her apartment. And so 2 men meant a lot of things to Nichol Kessinger. Chris was one of those. "Oh, I'm so special. I got a key from my girlfriend. That's how I know she wants me." Yeah, but Jim had a key. All right. Thank you guys for the date. Now we have the key here. And then look at all of this. So everything that Nichol is saying here is a blatant lie. Every time that she says that she tried to convince Chris to stay with his family, we know that's not true. We can see how everything started to ramp up as soon as he got back. When he got back, he knew. After spending time with his children at the beach and after spending time with Shanann, he knew that he was going to come back and he was going to annihilate them. Why? Because Nichol Kessinger had been sending him nudes throughout and convincing him to please salvage the marriage, Chris. But also, here's a nude. Here's another one. Here's another one, Chris. You want one from like down low? You want one from down low? Here. Down low. You want one from the back? Here you go, from the back. Up top? How many angles do you want, Chris? And he came back knowing what he was going to do to his family. Crazy, isn't it? Kimberly, Chris was telling his family that she was unhinged. So they said, write a letter just in case something happens to you. Yes. He wrote a letter to his family, to Jamie and what's the dad's name? Ronnie and Cindy, saying, if something happens to me, check out my wife. She did it. When very clearly he's the one planning everything. Look at this. Chris Watts, to whom letter? They get back. And look at all of this. All right. Let's go ahead and continue. It looks like we're going to have to finish this video in our next live stream. It is a pretty long one. And I did choose, this one's only 50 minutes. And yeah, we might have to do it in our next live stream tomorrow. Let's continue.
She's helping him plan property because it's relatively safe for her. So notice that she's entered the tonality and pitch and volume and upbeat of the storyteller. She'll stay here for as long as the detective lets her.
Yeah, she'll stay there for as long as the detective lets her. I like what he said there because it's true. She's going to stay here and she's going to keep lying and rambling, word salad left and right, as long as Kevin allows her to run this interview. That's basically what he's saying. As soon as Kevin starts to challenge her and starts to make her feel uncomfortable and threatened, that is when she gets up and leaves and gets a lawyer. And that is why Kevin tried his very best not to push her so much, so that she wouldn't leave with her daddy to get a lawyer, in my opinion. And in the opinion of others, that is why she was behaving this way. His family, Chris saw the light. I just got emotional thinking about Bella and the ultrasound. She asked, "When will the baby be here?" Shanann said, "After your birthday and mine." Bella said, "That's too long." And she never saw Nico. She never got to meet her brother. They played Twister in every room in that house. I believe so. I really do believe, at least for sure, in the basement, in that bed, as a way to control him, as a way to leave behind her smells in that house, to convince Chris to do the deed when he came back. But anyway, guys, that is all I have for you today. We are going to finish this video in our next live stream. We went through most of it. But yeah, we'll have to finish it maybe tomorrow. I want to say, yeah, tomorrow. We'll go ahead and finish it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you thought about this entire thing. What did you think about Veroscope and his analysis, and compared to our analysis? And where is it that it's obvious that Nichol Kessinger is lying? All of it, in my opinion. But let me know what you think. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, and share this video. The more we engage with the video, the more people will have access to it and get to learn more about this case. So please go ahead and share it, guys. Thank you all so much for joining today's live. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers, all of my viewers, all of my members, and a very special thanks to my moderators. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. Thank you for keeping the chat welcoming and fun for everybody. And thank you all for your opinions and your thoughts and all of the extra information. I love it. Thanks for all of your collaboration. And yes, please, 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 if you haven't done so already, if you haven't checked out Veroscope, go ahead and check out their channel. It is Veroscope Body Language and Deception Detection. Very, very good videos on Nichol Kessinger and her deceptive methods. So please go ahead and show them some love as well. And I love you guys. Take care. Please, please take care of yourselves. Crazy stuff out there in the world. Tomorrow, we'll do a live tomorrow. Woo! We'll do a live tomorrow at 11 a.m., guys. We'll go ahead and do it at 11 a.m. Unless something's going on with my live stream yet again. But same time as always, 11 a.m. tomorrow, unless something else goes down, and I'll let you all know. I'll post something to let you all know. And then very lastly, before I leave, sticker giveaways. Okay, sticker giveaways. Here, I'm going to bring some stickers over. I want to show you guys. So hang on if you want to join the sticker giveaway. All right, I'm back. I can't hear myself. Yes, 6 p.m. UK time. Yes. All right, stickers. We have more stickers to give away. I'm going to be giving away 3 stickers each to 6 different people. Okay, so 3 stickers to 6 different people. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel. At 10,000 subscribers, we're going to do another sticker giveaway. Just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And then go ahead and go over to my Instagram, which I still have to figure out. But go ahead and head over to my Instagram, and all you have to do is follow. It is Rabbit Hole Rocks, same as my channel name. Go ahead and follow my Instagram, and that is how you will enter for a chance to get some free stickers from me. I will mail them to you wherever you are. The UK, Australia, Canada, France, Italy, Brazil, Spain, wherever you are. If you win, I will gladly send you stickers for the giveaway. Thank you all so much. Again, I love you all. Thank you. You really should change my Samsung to your time. Aw. Thank you guys so much. I will see you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. I love you all. Take care. I'll see you next time.